Welcome to Networking RX, a podcast devoted to helping business professionals like you enhance your networking skills in order to become more proficient giving and receiving quality business referrals and improving the overall quality of your life and the lives of those around you. The Networking RX podcast is a production of AmSpirit Business Connections, an organization whose mission is to empower business success through networking.
As many of you know, I started my career practicing law. I worked for a big firm. I was a tax consultant. It actually wasn't a law firm. It's neither here nor there, but I went into private practice, and like so many people going into business for themselves, it was a struggle, and you do what you can to try and get clients. And there were lots of different things that I was trying to get clients, and one of the things I did was got myself connected with the Columbus Bar Association's attorney referral service. They had a referral service, and essentially they would people would call in and say, well, I'm looking for an attorney in this particular part of town who has a focus on a particular type of law. Attorneys aren't supposed to say they specialize, so just a focus on whatever, estate planning or so on and so forth. And I got I don't want to say I got a fair number of clients. I got some decent clients out of that. There was one particular client, and I'll call her Donna. That was her name. I won't get into her last name. Doesn't matter. Attorney-client privilege, and this is years ago. I'm not even sure Donna's still alive. She was much older, and she needed some help, and I won't get into any of that. But what I will tell you about Donna is she didn't have a lot of money. And the reason I knew how much money she had or how much money she made is, one of the things I, helped her with some tax stuff. So I knew she didn't have a lot of money, and I won't get into it because this is it's attorney-client privilege stuff. But I knew she didn't have a lot of money. But boy, oh boy, was she happy! Man, she was happy. I don't think she could have been any happier if she would have won the lottery. She was just so stinking grateful about everything. She was just so stinking grateful about getting to go to have breakfast at Bob Evans. And I appreciated being around her because of this attitude of gratitude that she had. Yeah, she would have loved to have made more money, and it got her down when, she would get a utility bill and it was higher than normal. And that can happen. Certainly, well, I think it can happen in any climate where the weather's extremely hot or extremely cold, and prices change and so on and so forth. But it's just, she was so happy, and so grateful for the things that she had. And in reality, if you compared her to most people in the world, she's living in America, got a roof over her head, she owned her house. She's probably better off than 80% of the world, 90% of the world, and that's not neither here nor there. But it really underscores the point about gratitude and what gratitude can do for us. There's certainly a lot of things with respect to Donna. I didn't make a lot of money serving Donna. I didn't. But I was always open to being around her. I was always open to taking her calls and having meetings with her. We would not meet every month or anything like that, but once a year we would get together. Maybe it was more often than that, and I didn't have these big aspirations, but I wanted to be around her because of this sense of gratitude. And I think what this underscores is that the first thing that gratitude can do for us, and this is a podcast about relationships, is it tends to draw people into us. I do know people who they don't have a sense of gratitude. They have a sense of entitlement, or a sense of being disappointed because they don't have certain things in life. And to me, that's somewhat draining, or can be somewhat draining. And just when people have this this sense of gratitude about everything they have. And in their mind, it is a lot, right? They look at it. they're not looking what other people have and saying, geez, why can't I have that? And I think there's a certain degree of comparing going on. I think it's only human nature, but there's a saying out there that comparison is the thief of joy, and there's certainly a lot to that. So when we're standing around looking what other people have, we forget all that we have. And Donna didn't really do any of that. I don't even know if she had a TV. Maybe she did. Maybe this was a lot of this was all pre-social media, and so you know she wasn't getting caught up in any of that. And I don't know if she would have anyway, because that just really wasn't her stuff. So gratitude is one of those things that can really draw people to us, and it's more than just an attitude. It's really kind of a way of seeing the world, and just this is what I've got, and I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for having a computer. I'm grateful for having a roof over my head. I'm grateful for me having a dog. Donna loved her cat. I remember there was all sorts of conversations around her cat. Um, and you can really look at things in life and say, yeah, yeah, that didn't go as I planned, but you know what? Here's the good thing. I'm still in the game. I've still got a business. I'm grateful for this. And so gratitude, and again, it's this attitude. I talked about this in foundational networking, is we need to focus on our attitudes, and it's the attitudes that bring people towards us. And gratitude is one of those things, and it focuses us from the things that might not be going well in our life to really look at them as, yeah, it is going well. I wish I would have closed that deal, but I learned this in going through the process, and that's going to make me better off. And if I would have closed the deal, I probably wouldn't have got that lesson. And so, in a way, I'm grateful that I had that little setback. Um, and if you stop and adopt this mindset, this attitude of being grateful, in a way, it'll change your morale. It'll change how you look at life. Because if you're sitting there and you're commiserating over not getting the deal, or the not getting the opportunity, not getting the promotion, not being able to go on that Disney cruise, or whatever it is, and again comparing yourself to other people, life can be stressful. It can be really a downer. I think that's where people again, it gets into the comparison game. They get on social media and they see what other people are posting, and you have to remind yourself, if you're on there, that yeah, people aren't posting, generally speaking, about the bad things in their life. Some people do. They'll post about the really bad stuff, and it's really a way of, I look at it as a way of kind of trolling for sympathy. Not everybody. Some people are just making an announcement. Hey, listen, this happened in my life. Those who knew my mom, here you go. She's passed. Um, and I'm not going to get into that, but a lot of people just, when they're posting, nobody's posting about a mediocre day. Let's put it that way, right? Yeah, it was another day. I just went through the motions again for the 10th time this month. Nobody's doing that. They're posting about the great things, and so when you start looking and getting mired down into the things that people are posting, it becomes a comparison game, and it's the thief of joy. Let me say that correctly. Um, and it can be stressful. It can be stressful to see, geez, I didn't make that happen. What's wrong with me? There's something wrong with me. Um, and so gratitude's one of those things that it's a really simple soft skill, right? It's just a simple, with whatever happens, uh, um, just to stop and say, okay, what am I grateful for? There's a guy I know out there, Dean Pulliam. He's a not-for-profit consultant, works with not-for-profit boards, and his alarm on his phone goes off every day at a certain particular time. And really, what it is, he calls it his gratitude interlude. When the phone, it just reminds him just to stop just for a second and say, what am I grateful for today? And it's easy to, again, it's easy to get caught up in the daily rot of running a business or having a job, but he stops himself and just whatever it is, and that sort of boosts his morale. It just makes him a better person to be around, and when you're a better person to be around, obviously you're attracting people to you, and the types of people that are coming into your world are the people who appreciate the notion of someone being grateful. So I encourage you, whether you set your phone or maybe have a journal every day, just say, okay, what am I grateful for? And really thinking about those sorts of things. Especially if you want to build relationships. Yeah, I know you're going to have down things in life, and you have friends. Share those with your friends. But know that the down things don't necessarily attract people to us long term. What really attracts people long term are us being grateful for the things that we have. And so stop and take the time to have that attitude of gratitude. Once a day, a couple times a day, really look at anything that's sort of happening and just say, yeah, you know what? That worked out and I'm grateful for this. Or that didn't work out and I'm grateful for that. And just get yourself into that habit of being grateful. And it's a wonderful way of building relationships with the people you know and attracting people to you that you don't already know.
Thanks for joining us on the Networking RX podcast. Please put what you've learned into action today and let us know if you have questions, comments, or ideas for future topics. You can email them to us at podcast@amspirit.com. That's AmSpirit.com. Finally, so you never miss an episode, be sure to subscribe to the Networking RX podcast through iTunes, Overcast, or however you receive your podcasts. Now get out and network with someone.
The Networking RX podcast is the copyright production of AmSpirit Business Connection. All rights reserved.